Swords of Justice is rumored to launch here in just over a month, and there's a ton of launch details we need to go over, like potential preload times, day one checklists. As someone that has been playing the closed beta, there are several classes that we'll go over, which you should pick and why. We'll check out a potential day one patch, and what the devs have been working on behind the scenes, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up, World Utopia here, back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Swords of Justice. Okay, so first off here, if you have or haven't heard of this game, it is an open world MMORPG, but it's got some cool mechanics tied to it, AI-powered NPCs that actually do remember everything that you do. There's quest decisions, so kind of akin to a single-player game or even Sweater if you did play Star Wars The Old Republic. There's over 100 combat styles and cooperative dungeon crawling. It's actually fairly fun. It does have some really cool gameplay mechanics to it, but we do have to go over those launch statuses and key dates for this. First off, it does have a global release window of 2025, and it is rumored to launch October 31st, 2025, but there is no official confirmation just yet. Now, it's actually been in a closed beta that I've currently been participating in. This one was quite exclusive. It had a very limited code drop, and the server does seem currently full or near full. That one has been running since September 26th to the 9th of October. They do, however, also have a pre-registration live on the official website and the iOS store. Now, as of right now, it does seem that the Steam page or the download page for that isn't up just yet. Of course, it does have a separate client though as well. It is up on the iOS store from what I can see, and currently it says you can download or get it, but it just gives you the notification for it, where it will then automatically download when it is released, or at least when they release that download. Since there isn't any official date right now for the launch target, we don't have any preload information. However, since I am in the closed beta, I currently do have it installed, and it is 53.5 gigabytes at the moment, so not sure what it will be on release. It seems like it will be around there. Typically from a Steam page, it actually does tell us. However, right now it errors out and says that it's not available in my region, but that's not the case because you can view it on the iOS store. Seems like they just need to update that. Hopefully they do it sometime soon. On the iOS store, I believe it's a placeholder size, but right now it is 3.7 gigabytes. I have seen another game recently, it's at around 3.6, so that does seem to be a placeholder amount. I would guess it's a little bit closer to the 10 gigabyte mark, given how large this size is on PC. Now, as far as the day one patch and day one checklist, currently when we check out the Steam database, nothing too crazy has been changed or looks like might be updated in the future. Aside from a few screenshots and trailers being added, everything has nearly stayed the same. Again, hopefully they do update it so it actually works in other regions. As I mentioned, I am currently in the closed beta test, and there hasn't been any updates pushed to it as far as I know so far. It does have currently 3 different servers, where right here for NA it has Justice, for SEA it has Breathing World, and then Japan it is in the Japanese language. So 3 servers right now, NA was all in one. We'll have to wait and see if they do mass servers on launch though. Now I will say though, for the day one patch, they are working on a native PC UI. You might see currently my buttons look a little bit too mobile. This game was originally planned to be PC only, then they wanted to do into mobile platform, and they've kind of made the button prompts there. There actually is a few settings that I do recommend to change, and you can also update your UI, so you can make it more like a PC MMO, but they are working on a native PC UI. So don't worry, that should come post-closed beta test, and that should be here before long. Now, one of the first settings I do recommend to change is under perspective, and under camera mode, there is a fixed 2.5 view and free 3D view. However, if you're used to PC games, you should go with FPV, as that's going to allow you to move natively and move your camera around natively. I would also turn off automatically adjust camera during non-combat movement. Some people like it on in MMOs, but I've always turned it off. As I did mention, you can update and edit your entire UI here. You don't need an add-on like some other games. So pretty cool there overall. Everything's just kind of built seamlessly into the game itself. Now, speaking of that, you might be wondering what classes should you play. They're called schools in this, and there is 6 available at launch. Now, some of these are gender locked and others aren't. You're able to swap between male and female there on most of them. Aside, for example, Ironclad. That is a tank class with top sustain and control that can anchor groups of enemies. That class specifically is male only. However, like these other classes here, Nightwalker is an assassin-styled melee DPS. with ultra fast combos and burst of mobility. That one can be swapped back and forth. The Bloodstrom is a spare bruiser with mounted charges and AoE control off tank tools as well. Celestune is the mage class or the elemental zither. They are a caster of fire, ice, and wind with a mix for DPS and utility. Nemuna is the summoner and debuffer class that has poisons and controllable spirits and constructs. Then you have Syleth, who is the healer and support class. This is another class that is gender locked to female, which does have group healing, damage reduction buffs, and even exclusive combat res. For just a quick pick guide overall, again, I might break down these classes a little bit more. If you want solo burst damage, then you should go with Nightwalker. If you want a very good group anchor to get invited to dungeons frequently, and just a nice tank, that's Ironclad. For mobile AoE or just AoE damage in general, Bloodstrom. If you want control and utility range, Celestune is really good. For a rapid safety net or just a heal in general, Syleth. And then for a really cool looking and fun class, Dot, Pets, and Tricks, then go for Numina. Again, I might do a later full guide video breaking down all the different classes. For right now, we just don't have enough experience with them and enough knowledge to cover that, but potentially eventually. Now you might be asking, what should you focus on day 1 as well as the first week? Of course, you'll need to pick your class. You should prep that early. The keybinds and UI, again, I went over some that you should change for those PC settings. For your first week, you should focus on story unlocks, especially your martial arts. That's going to unlock different abilities, and those actually tie directly into the storyline. So if you're focused on those decision makings, there are going to be some times in the story where you'll make a decision or where you can't make a decision depending if you have the ability. So you should focus those in tandem with each other. That's going to help you push into dungeons and even world boss timers. You'll have some daily things you can do as well, your daily rerolls. You might need to do 1 or 2 side quests in order to push levels, because you actually do need level 30 to push into dungeons. I needed to do so. I had completed my story quest, and I believe I was around a level 26 or 27. You level very fast though, so it's not a huge ordeal, and I literally just had to do 1 decently long side quest, and then I hit level 30. Then I could pump into dungeons. Dungeons will level you extremely quickly. You can also do some organized boss trains and even PvP events for fast progress there. Those will help you a ton, and yes, the game does have PvP, and the PvP is pretty fun overall. There are a few last mentions here, essentially rumors and things that we could see post-launch or even on launch. Again, I went over this already, but we are going to be getting a PC UI overhaul. That's from both the closed beta test feedback from previous ones, and especially this time around, I noticed a lot of streamers were struggling with the game because of the mobile UI. Again, you can change those buttons and make it more like a PC UI, but overall, hopefully they kind of overhaul everything. We also do still have the launch date rumored being October 31st. That has been widely circulated and mostly still a rumor. One thing cool here is that we might be getting future classes and regions other than the 6 at launch. Again, China has been playing this game a ton, and they actually really love this one over there. It seems to be very popular with that crowd overall. So hopefully it is the same over here. I know that Lost Ark actually struggled in the CN client base, so it will be very interesting to see how this one does in NA. Again, we'll have to wait for any more post-launch and pre-launch updates, where I might also potentially cover the classes/schools. So if you did enjoy today's video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and until the next one, deuces.